A lot of people have been very productive during quarantine. Some amazing things have happened.
Captain Tom Moore.
Pollution is down.
My quarantine has consisted on getting on Lorraine.
That's posh. Thank you, Max.
You're more than welcome, Lorraine.
And finding this woman. There needs to be some context for all of this. So 2 years ago, I moved into this flat in London. Lovely flat. And as a housewarming present, I was given this frame. Because of my pure laziness, I never changed the photo out of the oh, it's slipping. I need to put it at this angle because otherwise the glare is off the chain. Look at this. Giving more glare than a middle-aged woman at their child's sports day when they haven't won any medals. So, when I was in quarantine, I thought, who is she?
The only thing I've got to help me with this is my trusty laptop. You can tell what kind of person I am by my laptop stickers. I mainly just am a big fan of Catan, Trade Build Settle. What do we call her? Just like a Sarah.
First port of call was to do reverse image search. It's where you take a picture of the image,
Sarah.
plug it into various search engines, and it comes up with all of the instances that photo has been used around the world.
For example, someone called Mason is using me to catfish people.
Annoyingly, I got absolutely no results from that. I did try to Google her.
Stock image woman on duvet. There's 20,400,000 results of stock image woman on duvet. He's punching way above his weight. She's way older than him. That could be Sarah, just a little bit older, with her plain bread. Nothing better in the morning than a cup of tea and bread. This is going to be much harder than I initially thought.
Surprisingly enough, searching woman with her elbows on duvet didn't really work, but did have one lead because the frame was made by Kenro. I called Kenro. I got through to their marketing department and had the weirdest conversation of my life.
A blonde woman on her elbows on seemingly what looks like a duvet, and she's smiling.
Unfortunately, they didn't really have that much information, but they did manage to tell me that the picture was last taken in 2007.
But the image itself dates from around 2007. I believe the face papers for these frames were produced by the manufacturer, who is no longer in business. So I think this line of inquiry is pretty much dead.
If I'm brutally honest with you, I honestly thought that I'd be able to reverse image search this, do a bit of quick Google, and I'd find her. Job's a good un.
But that wasn't the case.
After the Kenro incident and after not being able to find anything to do with it by myself, I decided to turn to Instagram.
Hi, folks.
Now, Instagram is a wonderful platform.
2 leads have come in. Guys, doing the best.
Someone had found the Kenro catalogue from 2012, 2013. I searched through the whole of that catalogue. Sarah was all over the catalogue, but I couldn't find any information about the photographer or where it possibly could have come from. Then I got a random message that just said,
Demi Bryant is her name, I believe. That's it. There's no other context to it.
This was actually a really good lead. There was nothing else. Someone just said, it's Demi Bryant.
I think I found her.
And Demi Bryant was an Australian model. She had a website. On her About section, it said that Demi had been modelling from a young age. From what we can remember from the Kenro stuff, we know the picture was taken from at least 2007. She looked pretty similar. I thought she looked pretty similar.
Oh, it's got the same hair. Well, she's a DJ as well. Sarah has got tunes.
And just as I was researching Demi, an unbelievable lead came in.
We know who took the picture. We know who took the picture. The picture was taken by Sydney Schaffer.
And the photograph was on Getty Images. As an official image, you could buy the image. Now, I was buzzing. When I looked in Demi Bryant's following, she was following a photographer called Sydney.
So, could be a coincidence, but I reckon it's a lead.
I then drafted the world's weirdest DM, sent it off, safe in the knowledge that I'd get a reply back. Not anytime soon.
I'm pretty sure she's Australian, but what time is it in Australia? 3 in the morning.
But I was expecting a reply back. I went to bed, I woke up, day 2.
Right. We start the day with some bad news. So I messaged Demi, said, hey, Demster, is this you? The answer was a resounding no.
Now, the previous day I'd found out the name of the photographer, Sydney Schaffer, and if I'm honest, I hadn't done that much research on Sydney Schaffer because it was almost certain that it was Demi. I couldn't find any Sydney Schaffers anywhere. I mean, the only Sydney Schaffer I could find was that there's a lecturer at the University of Pennsylvania called Sydney Schaffer, but something told me that she wasn't moonlighting as a stock photographer in the mid-noughties. I messaged a friend of mine who's a photographer and said, do you know of anyone called Sydney Schaffer? He said, no, but also the reason why you might not be able to find this person is because stock picture work in the photography industry is not that well regarded. So it's quite likely that Sydney Schaffer is an alias. Not good. This led me to my next mad plan.
The images on Getty Images. Now you can buy these pictures.
Something to do with a model release.
Now I hope that doesn't mean that they've just released the model after the photo shoot, because I'd assume they did that anyway.
When a photographer takes photographs of a model and they plan on selling those pictures, the model has to sign what is called a model release. Now I thought that when it said model released, it meant that when you buy the picture, it gives you the information because the model has had to sign a model release. So I was contemplating about buying the picture.
It's a £50 gamble. I don't really have any other options. Getty, yeah, have them at £50. It's going straight in my basket. And it's now £60 because you had VAT. Bloody VAT. Oh, shit.
I bought the picture and there was no information about a model release. Now this wasn't as stupid as you might think, because along with the model release, I then had the official picture. I had this picture on my laptop. You can have it if you like. Now that I had the picture, I was also told that sometimes photographers store metadata in a photo. In the data of a picture, a photographer can put the name of the photographer, the name of the model, whatever they like. I looked into that, nothing. So, all I know is that the photographer is called Sydney Schaffer, is most likely an alias. So the latest it's going to be taken is 2007. There was no metadata in the picture, there was no model release. I then decided to see whether anyone at Getty could help me out. I called all of their hotlines, they gave me no response. I emailed them, they told me that they didn't give that information. I even messaged their head archivist. He left me on scene, that hurt. And so the last thing that I was clutching onto was the fact that this picture was part of a set of a group. And although nothing had come up when I reverse imaged a picture of Sarah, it didn't mean the other pictures wouldn't. So there was a batch of about 50, 100 pictures that were all taken by Sydney Schaffer. And so I painstakingly, one by one, reverse image searched all of them. Not much came up. There was a lot of catfishing going on. There's a lot of social media profiles in the world that have pictures of Sarah. But what I did find, which I don't think is any of use, is that there was a Greek EDM album that used one of the stock pictures as their album cover in 2004, as well as a picture that was found on a website in 2001. So that's where I am now. I was contemplating not releasing this, but then I thought, hold on, the amount of leads I got through Instagram, who knows, anybody watching this right now, Sarah could be your mum, for you know. And I will make a promise that if we find Sarah, I will fly out to wherever Sarah lives after lockdown is over, take a picture in this exact pose and put it in that frame. I really hope she's still alive. As a group, as a team, we can do this together. I will put all the information in the description, or there'll be a link. Any leads you have, max@maxvosh.co, subject line, finding Sarah. We'll find Sarah, we'll come out of quarantine, we'll take the pic, we'll have a lovely time. That's the end of the video.
Find her. Quarantined man hunts down stranger.